Dave, how many characters do you think would be in an Avengers video game that you could play as?
A lot.
Oh, wow. You're wrong, stupid idiot. Get out. Go away.
Okay.
Oh, go away. Bye. Shoot, idiot. I'll find a better. I'll talk to the vinyl record. That's smarter than you, obviously, because there's like 6. Hello everyone and welcome to DCM, Doritos Connections, and Mountain Dew, your favorite local video game talk show. I am your host, Howard Miller.
And I'm your co-host, David Scrivani.
And let's start off with the news.
The news?
All right, first news story. Everyone shut up. It's Kirby's 30th anniversary this year. Nintendo's best franchise. Fight me, everyone.
I thought we agreed that was WarioWare.
They can both be the best
Okay,
franchise.
all right, I'll accept that.
They can both be the best franchise because Nintendo is celebrating Kirby's 30th anniversary, and they've given us a release date for their newest title, which is called Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the 3D platformer, which is set to release March 25th.
Ooh.
I've pre-ordered it already. Have you? You better get cracking. They have not announced other cool things for Kirby, which they said they're going to do, but they released this cool wallpaper, and that's it.
There it is. It's on the screen.
Right now.
Right here.
Right now. I'm specifically taking it off as he's moving his hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put some respect in Kirby. It's his birthday.
Yeah. He's 30.
Yeah.
He's a middle-aged man.
Yeah, he's eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Could the PlayStation 5 be getting expanded backwards compatibility soon? I certainly hope so. Not only are a handful of PlayStation 3 games viewable, but not purchasable despite having listed regional prices, many PlayStation 5 users reported recently that PS3 trophies were being listed on their profiles instead of PS4 trophies. We already know Sony is planning some sort of competitor to Microsoft's Game Pass. Could we possibly be getting it sooner than we think? Like I said, I certainly hope so. I have never played Infamous, and I would really like to.
Ooh, the first one? You never played it?
Never played it.
Oh, it's good.
So come on, Sony. Let me play Infamous.
Or what about the first 3 Little Big Planets? That'd be nice.
That too. Or, I don't know what other PS3 exclusives there were.
Heavy Rain.
Let me play Heavy Rain. Oh, I'm sorry. I was kidding.
The hit anime for normies, My Hero Academia,
I do love anime.
has announced a new game. Now, it's not a sequel, which they have 2 of for the My Hero One's Justice games, the Arena Fighter. In fact, it's a brand new title called My Hero Academia Ultimate Rumble, which is a 24-player battle royale similar to Fortnite. There's not much released other than... Stop. There's not much known, but Bandai is saying it's free to play. There's a closed beta for the game coming soon, and a few character announcements have already been made, such as All Might, Shoto Todoroki, Katsuki Bakugo, and of course the main character is Zuko Midoriya. Who knows if it's going to be good? All I know is it's not going to be as cool looking as the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Battle Royale.
Good job, Bandai Namco. You outdid yourselves. Oh my, who's asking for something like this?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, hey, it's free to play at least.
Yeah.
It's nothing, no damage to my wallet. All right, so for some reason, it seems that Sony has decided to increase production of the PlayStation 4 in order to compensate for the lack of PlayStation 5s. While Sony has actually denied the claims that they were originally going to end production of the PlayStation 4 in late 2021, Microsoft already stopped production on the Xbox One S and One X, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that Sony had planned to do the same. And considering PlayStation 5s are near impossible to find, it's also not out of the realm of possibility that they were like, well, we got to do something about that. But rather than just making more PlayStation 5s, which would have been the smarter thing to do,
big brain move,
in my opinion, let's put out more consoles that everyone already owns. That'll satisfy the public.
That'll fix it up real good.
Yeah.
It's like putting a Band-Aid on like a cracked dam.
Exactly. Sony.
So good news. Hit indie game The Artful Escape, one of my personal favorite indie games of 2021, is now available on Switch and PlayStation. Finally. The game's a linear platformer about a nephew of a famous folk singer, and he's trying to craft a new identity for himself after being sick of living in the legacy of his uncle's shadow.
So it's My Dad the Rock Star starring Gene Simmons.
More like my uncle the rock star starring Gene Simmons.
Okay.
But actually, no, not Gene, Bob Dylan.
Okay, there we go.
Starring Bob Dylan. So basically, he goes on this huge. If I explain this to you, you're gonna be laughed, but this is basically the plot. So before you do some big tribute concert of your uncle, actually a spaceman comes down saying, hey, do you want to rock the cosmos instead for like a night? And that's what the game is. It's a to double sell you on the game, he gives you this awesome guitar, and it's a platformer, right? Very linear one. There's a shred button that activates buttons, but you can hold it, and you can just infinitely shred for the whole level.
All right, I'm sold.
So, yeah, play The Artful Escape. It's a good game. It's now out on everything, and I hope you give it a try, because I loved it. And now for our next segment, hey guys, what you been playing?
I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy. And no, I'm not calling it Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy because that sounds stupid. And what other Guardians of the Galaxy do you know?
Also, Marvel didn't make the game.
That too. Anyways, the game's a lot of fun. Combat can be a little chaotic, but it ends up being very satisfying once you get the hang of it with all, the team's abilities and whatnot. But where the game really shines, though, is in its story. It's a really, really heartfelt and personal story that manages to focus on both Peter Quill's relationship with his teammates and all of his own, interpersonal demons. All the other Guardians are written really, really well. Kudos especially to Drax. My main issue with the game, which I specifically did not tell you about beforehand, because I wanted to tell you about it on this show, is how the music works in the game. Because being a Guardians of the Galaxy game, there's a lot of licensed music. The thing about that is, it's not always context sensitive. So, one moment, you're going off to find a weapon to stop the big bad of the game, and right as you blast off to get that weapon, Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart starts playing. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. But then the next, you're having a heart-to-heart with Rocket about all the horrible experiments he went through in his early life. As Everybody Wants to Rule the World starts playing in the background. And it's like, wow, this is some really intense tonal whiplash going on right here. But it also works on the funnier side of things, because in the game they have a system called I think it's called a team huddle, where you can huddle up your teammates, give a little rousing speech, and you can get like a buff to your entire team. And one of the songs will start playing as well. So during the first confrontation with the big bad villain of the game, I'm like, well, if I'm going to fight him, I'll just use the huddle right at the start. So I did, and immediately, Never Gonna Give You Up starts playing. I'm like, all right, I'll take it, I guess. And then finally, later in the game, during a really long, intense battle, I'm like, well, this is going on a long time, I should do the team huddle. And Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin starts playing. So I'm shooting, and that really kind of upbeat, happy whistling comes in. I'm like, all right, sure. Why not? At this point, I've seen everything this game has to offer. But it goes both ways. Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy is now available on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation consoles, and Xbox consoles.
I've been playing DEEEER Simulator, your everyday deer game, released in January 2020 by DEEEER Games. It's the French words. It's okay if I mispronounce it. It's a game where you reincarnate as a deer after you create a character and save one from being hit by a truck. And you do things. That's about the game in a nutshell.
You do things?
Yeah, much like Goat Simulator, it's a quirky physics-based sandbox games where you do wacky things for a cheap laugh. Now, this game is kind of funny since you are a deer, and because you're a human in a deer, you can do things like wield guns and possess cars and fight the police who are all sheep for some reason.
I don't think humans can possess cars, but okay.
Hold on, don't question this. It's Deer Simulator. And I guess there's more wackier stuff, like how the final battle is literally just a Dark Souls boss, or you can ride dragons in it, or one of the main bosses in the game being a corgi mecha. Yeah, it's wild. There is one issue though. I 100%ed the game in less than 2 hours.
Oh.
Now, I played this on the Xbox Game Pass, but on console, this game's like $20. So I'd imagine you'd want to try this game when it's discounted.
That's $10 per hour.
I'd imagine you want to try this discounted or just play Goat Simulator instead. But Deer Simulator, your everyday deer game, is available on PlayStation, Switch, PC, and Xbox consoles. So in other news, there was this clip going around Twitter and a bunch of news articles about how someone was making a game that was a first-person shooter where you took a gun and actually hunted Pokemon, if that's the most blunt way to say it.
There's really no other way to say it.
Yeah, so, and you know, we're not going to show the clip, obviously. I'll just show screenshots to be nice. But
PETA will come after us if we show it.
So, of course, this made the rounds everywhere. And the guy broke rule number 1 in Nintendo fan games, which is what this segment is about. It's called, shut up and don't show your game until it's done. Why do people keep doing this? Nintendo hates you. If you like Nintendo, they hate you. They don't want you touching their IPs. Ever.
Doesn't matter if you're trying to, if it's a free thing or not.
They don't care.
They do not care.
They disappear. They use Zahando to gone. No one cares. So now, all evidence of this game, gone. Guy's Twitter account, gone. All videos, copyright struck down, gone. This game's gone.
Yeah.
And Nintendo has done this all the time. And they just never stop, and nobody cares.
Remember that Metroid 2 fan remake?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which I'm pretty sure they took it down and then stole the assets to make their own remake of Metroid 2, I think.
Oh.
That's even worse. They also did something similar with Super Mario Maker, where someone showed custom Mario levels online and made like a browser.
I do recall that.
And Nintendo got rid of it, and then suspiciously a year later announced Super Mario Maker. Yeah, they have a habit of copyright striking fan-made games, and they're one of the only studios that are harshly against this idea in practice. Because I'm thinking about it, they don't even want mods in their game. At all. They just want you to just accept product and just keep it way it is, you know? Which, you know, on one hand, you got to respect their right for copyright, but on the other hand, if no one's profiting off of it, go away. Like, for real, I don't get it.
I wish I could explain it, but because most fan games, they are made for fans. And by that, I mean they're not charging money for them. So Nintendo technically isn't losing any money by allowing the games to exist.
And even if someone else got the fan game instead of the main game, now stay with me here, because this is a thing that happens. Once they played the fan game and they realize what it's based on, they'll go play the main game. right? Mind blown right here, right?
So if anything, Nintendo would be making money, maybe.
But they don't think like that.
Nintendo doesn't have the big brains like we do.
Which you see this a lot in a lot of Japanese companies. That's why we never really reported on this, but we mentioned it. Toei Animations basically copyright struck 150 videos off one guy's channel, and all he did was review One Piece and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So these companies don't understand about fan integration, especially when we're in the internet age where you can get, anything.
Yeah.
Right? You can get the source codes for literally any game whenever you want and just share it to anyone on the internet.
Yeah. That reminds me actually about the Toei thing. I assume Toei Animation and Toei Studios are the same company, but so Toei is the one who makes the Kamen Rider series, and not a couple years ago, like a while ago, there was a manga artist who was doing a really well done fan-made Kamen Rider manga, and Toei was like, "Hey, no, stop that." So Tsuburaya came up to them and was like, "Hey, you want to do an Ultraman manga, officially licensed?" And now we have an Ultraman manga that's been going for like 50 volumes now.
Yeah, if there's one thing Toei doesn't say no to, it's when the creator of the IP just walks up and says, "Excuse me,
Yeah.
I'm fixing this." But it's just this thing these companies do. They're like scared of the internet, I would imagine, right? They're just scared, absolutely terrified of everything the internet does, even though it's been around for 30 years.
Yeah.
They're just mortified. Nintendo's mortified of the internet. Not because everyone leaves bad reviews in all their games, but they sell well anyway.
It's just that they don't know how it works, because they're old people.
They're old people. They don't know how it works.
They're boomers.
True. And they don't understand how copyright works 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Nintendo personally sues piracy websites on games that they have in which you can't buy for 20 years. And they argue they're losing money. Like, who's buying Super Smash Bros. Melee from them? No one. It's been discontinued for 15 years. But guess what? They're going to sue anyone who has the ROM for it and is giving it away. Oh, so are they going to sell Melee? No. But don't worry. Nintendo's going to get rid of all ways to get it.
Don't get me wrong. It is totally understandable when they are actively losing money.
Yes.
If you are making money off of someone else's IP, yes, that is called copyright infringement.
Yeah.
And you will and should be sued.
Sure.
But if you are just having a little bit of fun, making a free thing for fans to play, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And
whatsoever.
we also can't forget all the other times Nintendo has tried to use copyright, such as going to Redbubble and blocking any drawings of Nintendo characters, along with that with other posters. So like, if they found out you were selling if someone draws a poster of Mario and they found out you were selling it, they would like copyright infringement strike you. Let's also not forget during the Wii U days where Nintendo basically said, hey, if you play a Let's Play game, you're infringing on copyright, so you need to join our Nintendo union to even put up a Let's Play of any Nintendo game. If you remember that, I do. So these people are actively afraid of losing money. When the Nintendo Switch is one of the highest selling consoles. Like,
they ain't losing any money. Believe us.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, the CEOs ain't losing money. Like this ain't the Wii U days anymore, where they have to worry like game to game if people are getting paid. It's the Switch. As you can tell by a lot of Nintendo Switch games, they can make one of the worst Pokemon games ever, and it's the best-selling one, right? You can make garbage and then slap a Nintendo sticker on it, and it'll make money. No one cares. So, like, why do we have to go after fan games and, like, other things? Like, with the asterisks of if they're giving it away for free and not actually infringing on copyright. So, you know.
We should have gotten someone who, like a lawyer in for this episode.
We don't know lawyers, do we?
My cousin's a lawyer.
Oh.
She works for Amazon.
Oh. We know no one then. So as you are aware, if you looked at a calendar, Christmas was a little while ago. And I have a weird tradition where the days leading up to Christmas, I pick a terrible game and I play it. Right before Christmas. I don't know why. This all started one day when I was really bored and I decided to play the 2009 Bionic Commando remake right before Christmas. And every year I just play a bad game. So I have to tell you all about this year. I played Marvel's Avengers, the Square Enix game. That was one of the worst ideas I've had in a while. Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy. Everything is bad. It's bad. Other than graphics. But
All right,
like,
hold on, no, you
bad.
just cut it there. Everything's bad.
Everything's bad. No, like the story makes no sense at all the more I think about it. Because the plot is on Avengers Day, they were going to announce some renewable energy. But it's a little unstable.
Sounds a lot like Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Shh, they might have ripped it off. And then one day, on Avengers Day, the terrorists come in when they're doing the unveiling and they purposely attack the energy source with the intent to blow it up to make the Avengers look bad. Now note, please note, I said terrorists invade on Avengers Day to make the Avengers look bad and blow up the renewable energy. So it does, that works, and it blows up and everyone becomes mutants, but they're called Inhumans, which is another Marvel IP, but I don't think they include anyone from Inhumans in it.
I don't know enough about Inhumans to comment on it. I just know that Inhumans are...
But
I don't know enough about it.
like,
I do not know enough
but
about it.
But the thing works like mutants, where like it alters DNA.
Sort of, yes.
Well, no. I'm saying like the game.
Yeah.
They kind of just treat it like mutants from X-Men, and they try to pull like an X-Men where it's like, God, the mutants. Well, apparently the government, like I don't know why, but then the plot is like, the Hulk Mark Ruffalo himself goes up and says, yes. Because of this, the Avengers are a threat to society. So the scientist who made the renewable energy becomes the head ruler of the world. And like makes like camps for these Inhumans. And basically has like robot like secret police that scans at houses and finds robots to imprison them. And I'm just sitting here like, half an hour in because, it's a modern game storytelling. They have to painfully use every single line of dialogue they could. I'm just sitting here, it's like, how, why, this, so, and I was just sitting in my head, so terrorists attack the Avengers, they win, and somehow the world sides with the terrorists. What? And then the worst part is we get Miss Marvel. Now, Miss Marvel's a new character. It's like Mr. Fantastic, but a superhero fangirl, okay? And she's cool, but after playing this game, I never want to see her again. She was so bad. She's literally, and I don't like using this term, a Mary Sue. She is, but like, she's one of the very few times where if you call her a Mary Sue, I'd believe it. Everything she does is just that scene only. Right? So our main character is Miss Marvel, and she's like obsessed with the Avengers. She was there on I think it's literally called like T-Day or something.
I think it's called A-Day.
A-Day, yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, as if this was like a national thing. And she's like sitting there. It's like, God, I wish I was still an Avenger. God, and then she's browsing undercover Marvel forums and says, hey. This is Tony Stark's account to Tony Enterprises, and this is all 3 years later. Why don't you just see if you can guess the password? You get 3 attempts. She solves it. I don't know how. She just solves it perfectly. Then gets a thumb drive and says, there are people after you, run. And then she runs so much, and then she escapes and goes to like, she encrypts the data a tiny bit and just finds Hulk in an abandoned helicarrier. And like every conflict that involves her, insta-solved. There's one season where she's crying about how she's scared and like doesn't think she's going to be good enough to be an Avenger, and they just solve it in that one conversation, and she's ready and raring to go.
Oh.
Yeah. The voice acting, imagine the safest, blandest voice acting you could possibly get. And I mean really bland. I mean, what's that voice actor and everything? Not Steve Bloom, not Nolan North.
He's in it though.
Yeah, he is in it. Who's the other guy?
Troy Baker?
Yes,
Who's also
Troy
in it.
Baker, who I thought for the whole game was Nolan North because of how safe and how exactly he sounded like Nolan North. We also had Laura Bailey as Black Widow, and I'm gonna be totally honest, she's not that good as Black Widow. I didn't think she was that great as Black Widow. And it's just all safe. And then we get to the gameplay. The gameplay is like Destiny, but it really tries its best to make it so you just don't shoot everything, so you have to use like actual third-person combat.
That's gross.
So but the combat's really just constantly mashing the X button.
Nice.
So you get these giant empty environments where you have to constantly run to enemies to punch them. They might be spawned 3 at a time, then just keep going on ginormous maps full of hyper detail that doesn't matter because you just run through them anyway because it's a Destiny thing, right? You got to get to the end, get the loot boxes. And it's like, oh my goodness. And to make matters worse, for an Avengers game, Dave, how many characters do you think would be in an Avengers video game that you could play as?
A lot.
Oh, wow. You're wrong,
Oh.
stupid idiot. Get out. Go away.
Okay.
Oh, go away. Bye. Shoot, idiot. I'll find it better. I'll talk to the vinyl record. That's smarter than you, obviously, because there's like 6. You can come back now. I'm sorry. There's 6 characters. You get Miss Marvel, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, and Thor. 6. The rest of them are free DLC campaigns that you can do in missions, but are not part of the story. So now every single time a DLC character comes in, we have to have a painful conversation of where they were for the past 3 years that time skip happened where they're all supposed to be in hiding. And the DLC characters aren't good either. We went over Spider-Man and how there was literally nothing. And I did look up, he did have a campaign, but the campaign was just regular levels that had motion comics in front of them and like 2 cutscenes. We have Hawkeye, that was the first one, which I don't know why he wasn't in the base game, but whatever. Kate Bishop, which is just Hawkeye. So first 2 DLC characters were just Hawkeye. Black Panther.
Has Black Panther even come out?
He's been out for like a year now. Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. News to me.
And Spider-Man only on the PlayStation version. 3 characters. So we have a total of 9 characters, 2 of which are just Hawkeye, and Miss Marvel, and there's no Captain Marvel because they're using Miss Marvel as the main character, so why you would, and they keep talking about Captain Marvel all the time.
Oh.
Like whenever she's like, I'm not a good superhero, it's like, if Captain Marvel was here, she would have liked you. Because, you know, everyone has to be, you know, 'cause she's a Mary Sue, so everyone has to magically like her. It's like, oh, I like this kid. Captain Marvel would have liked you. God, I wish Captain America was here. He would have liked you.
Oh, jeez.
He would have liked you, Miss Marvel. I don't understand how, why, who thought any of this was a good idea. It's bland, it's boring, it's terribly written, and any times I did have fun, it was me going, oh, cool, Abomination's here. Oh, I can't play as Abomination. Oh, I don't care anymore. And it is kind of cool that they have MODOK as the main villain, because when is MODOK the main villain of like any game, really?
God knows.
And to top it all off, I don't know, the game has 2 modes, the story campaign, and then it has regular missions, right? And the story campaign is just a bunch of missions. For some reason, the game lets you click on the missions before the story, and if they do that, they give you this wonderful cutscene to show you what you're about to do. Spoils the game.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I was wondering what it did, and I clicked on it. Spoils the game, 100%. Doesn't even, first 3 seconds spoils the ending. Spoils the ending right there.
Oh, wow.
That's bad.
So you don't even need to. You can just load up the game and spoil yourself on the ending of the game immediately off the kick. It doesn't even give you a warning sign of, hey, you can only play this after you do. I just clicked it. It just took me there. So I'm gonna give Avengers. It's not the worst game I played before Christmas, but it's definitely in the top 5 worst. Not because it's bad, because it's competently built, but because it's bland, boring, and corporate.
And that's the worst thing to be.
That is
corporate.
There's nothing worse than being bad other than being boring. And that was the show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Smash that bell.
Please. And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.